The following podcast was incredible. I just finished shooting it. It's with Eric Levitz. Eric runs one of the greatest recovery programs, rehabs I know of in the world. It's in Israel called AZ House, and it is 100% free. It's a community service. It has a success rate of, I don't know if anybody could really compete with the success rate for a rehab. It's a fantastic program, and I got to talk to him about his own journey and how he created the program and what it's about. And it is, if you want to listen to any program, any podcast about what's happening in the minds of addicts and how to deal with them and how to build a gorgeous community of healing and gratitude, this is it. We really talked about so many things, and it was just a beautiful podcast that I loved. So remember to follow, subscribe, and I love all the comments. And so send more comments and tell us what you think, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Brainstorm Podcast. And now, your host, Sonny Perlman.
We're live. Sitting with Eric. Oh my God. I've been waiting for this for a while. Okay.
Glad to be here.
Eric was about to say that he learned something from me. So I was like, let's get this on. It's all about ego, bro. It's all about
hear you.
No, I'm kidding. What did you learn? We built. We're gonna get into all your stuff, all the things that's going on.
No, it stuck with me a long time ago, and I'm gonna be good at this one. I asked you, hey, what about this guy? And you're like, yeah, I don't know. And you didn't get into it. But you're like, I'm not into gurus.
Okay.
And since then, I was like, I wasn't really into that guy either. And I'm very grateful that someone who I respect said I didn't have to be. Because everyone else was.
Right.
And so through I'll call it my adult life.
I don't remember this. Now I'm trying to remember who it was. Okay.
It was just Yom Kippur, really, bro.
I'm forgiven. I got a clean slate.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Shoot.
It doesn't count if you go into the next year of going, well, I have a clean slate.
Fine. Anyway.
That's not how like an amends works.
That is a big, that's a big thing of mine. Like, I feel like I'm allergic to gurus. I don't know who it was, but I especially get suspicious if a lot of people are into somebody. Because that means he has like some sort of charm. I get very weirded out when somebody looks at me. This happens to me, like in my own field. They start looking like, oh, asking me questions, and then like just following what I say. I'll say, I'll give you my opinion, but please think about this. Like, this should not be the final word. And I get weirded out because I'm so kind of against gurus. I've had like Hasidic people on the podcast, and I'm like, I have an issue with Rebbes. I have a hard time with it. I know you're saying Rebbe and guru is a little different, but it's hard to just follow. To give over your will to another person is very, very weird for me. So
we're not supposed to do it.
I don't think we're supposed to do it.
No, you're not supposed to do it. But and I would say, and listen, I don't even want to go into that direction because I'll just be a fish out of water. Okay. But I'll say for sure in the definition that I'm using it and that you used it to me, some Rebbes are gurus and some aren't. Okay. Like I would gamble. I'm going to get in trouble. I would gamble some understand their humanity and some don't. Right. And the ones that don't are the ones that are probably problematic.
It's so interesting. Someone told me, yeah. I'll tell you, it was very interesting. Someone in shul yesterday told me he's going to kill me. He's a good friend of mine. And I was kind of acting like I liked the story, but I didn't like the story. He was telling me about a Rebbe that this guy came in and he said, I have this problem with that problem. And the Rebbe said, when's the last time your mother sent you a letter? How much money do you have? Like he went to the practicals and he asked him, he like asked him, what's going on with you? Like, and he gave him money and he like helped him out like on a very practical level. And he thought he was like getting ready to talk to him and like Torah. And the Rebbe just did this. And I liked the story, but I didn't like that we liked the story. Meaning if a guy gets to the point of Rebbe, that means he is the most human. Like, that's the goal. He is the most human. That for a Rebbe to not be able to see, oh, this guy's suffering financially, this guy is struggling. Like, why is that surprising to us? Are they supposed to be aloof somewhere over there? No, they're supposed to do what he did. Like, what was upsetting to me about the story is that was a story. Meaning, like,
oh, he went to him.
Like,
at
wow, a
his
Rebbe
level.
even heard the little tiny details of this person's life. He's struggling. I'm like, what? That's what would make him a Rebbe. If all he could say is like, well, let me tell you the Torah, esoteric things. What are you talking about? You're missing the whole party here. Like, be human and see another human. That's why I was weirded out that it's a story. Like, when someone says about a Rebbe, like, he's so approachable. Well, he's supposed to be so approachable. That he's supposed to be as human as you could get. He's supposed to. The world was built on chesed. He's got to personify the idea of chesed, like the idea of just being loving kindness and wonderful. Like, when you come to him, you shouldn't feel like you've. Give me a famous person where you're like, you got to sign signatures, like for, I don't know, Madonna back in my days. You couldn't get to her. A Rebbe shouldn't be that. A Rebbe should be someone you talk to and you feel like this person understands me, sees my situation, and willing to help me. Not someone I'm going to sign a signature and have a good day, which is what it's become on some level. So anyway.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
I
okay.
wouldn't. I wouldn't. What you're saying makes sense and it resonates.
Yeah.
But like, I'll start theorizing about something that I don't understand 100%.
Okay, so before people like go, what the heck is going on here, right? I'm going to leave a whole intro at the beginning, but besides for us being good friends and being able to talk about everything, which, by the way, is very unique in this world of like, we're all running programs and like everybody's got egos and like we've always been really close, which is cool, and we've always talked. And I love that. I really love that. And I've been really looking forward to having you on because I feel like we have just gab that's like we could just talk about almost everything. But I do want to right away talk about your program, where the heck it came from, why you decided to do this. Like, I wanted to get directly, because I think people have you've been very good at marketing lately, but you've been pretty quiet for the first, 6 years or 7 years,
You think we're good at marketing?
You're getting better. You're getting really better. People are knowing who you are, and I'm really proud of you. Like, you're putting it out there. I see you on the Instagram. I mean, you still got more. Pull the mic closer to your mouth. But
all right, Joe.
I'm gonna tell you. So I want it to be crisp. But you still have more to go, but we all do, because everybody who's trying to do the good work are not marketers. It's just not what we're good at necessarily, but we could try, and we got to hire the right people. That's what I think. If you're a good marketer, you're probably not so good at the other stuff.
But
different theory.
But who understands the vision?
No, a marketer has to come to you and understand the vision. That's a great marketer. The problem is a marketer is out there doing advertisements, doing like they're focusing on details that we're like, just tell them how great it is. Like I once heard a business guy breaking it down. I'm trying to remember who it was. He was breaking it down that there are 3 parts of business. And he's never met anybody who's good at all 3. And he's met some that are good at 2. But most people are very good at 1. So it was, the first thing is product development. Second one is sales. And the third is what to do with the money. Right? So you got those 3 things. So I'm a product development guy and a tiny bit of sales. What to do with money, I have no idea. Like, I need to hire the right people for money. Or I would say I'm semi-good at the second 2, but I'm a product developer. I'm like, how to make the perfect rehab for everybody, how to make the perfect sober living, I will analyze it to the death and try to figure out every single detail, how to develop it. And then I look around and go, why isn't everybody coming? You know what I'm saying? Like, my brain is like, it's a perfect product. It's almost like Elon Musk. He builds a Tesla. He's like, I don't want to advertise. This is the best car. This is it. I promise you. But then he's good at advertising also because he yells and screams about stupid things until everybody knows who he is. But what I'm saying is very few people are good at all three. So it's the same in like the rehab business. I don't call it the rehab business, but like it's the same. Like you're great at building a program. You might be somewhat good at marketing, but it's not your specialty.
I don't do marketing at all.
Right.
All the marketing that you
so
see
what
has
you say,
nothing,
the money
that
thing
has nothing to do with me. Maybe I'll put a party together, which I'll say it's very stressful,
right.
and I don't have fun at them. But it seemed, and I have to ask people after the fact. I'm like, was it good? Was it fun? Like, was the goal accomplished? And I think like it's not fun, but
I know party planners and marketers that will put together that party in a tenth of the time. It'll be 10 times better. It will rock the house. Every detail will be right. I think my sister-in-law, Elisheva Perlman, she like does marketing. Like there is not a detail that is not done. Meaning like when you walk in, you're like, is the mic working? No. She was there before making sure the mic worked exactly. And there was someone in the farthest corner that's listening to see if the mic volume is right and if the lighting is right. And if this is like the details would just drive us crazy. We'd be like, what? Who cares about the mic? Just yell loud. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I hear you.
But I think that's awesome because we are created with so many different personalities. So something that I'm like, oh, I could throw that part. Yeah, but it would take us quadruple the amount of time, 20 times more stress, hire the right person. So that is, I don't know how we got there, but I'm saying you have in marketing and it's been cool. Because
they have. The people.
The people. Okay, so what is the people?
So
tell me, Easy House. Let's hear.
Where do you want me to start? Yeah,
you know what? Start with your story. This is not like a story podcast, but just I believe to understand what you're doing, you have to get some context of your story if you're willing to share.
Okay, so I'll try to, I can be very long-winded about this, so I'll bullet point some facts. So I was born in New York, moved to Cleveland in 97. So I was born in 89, 36. Moved to Cleveland in 97. Struggled, problems, whatever.
You moved with your family?
Yeah. Well, I was 7.
I didn't work out the dates.
Yeah.
Go on.
So I moved to Cleveland by myself when I was 7. No.
Now, for my audience, you growing up Orthodox? You growing up?
No, I'm going to get into that.
Okay, go.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Now, I come from reform background. So we moved to Cleveland in 97 from New York City to some suburb in Shaker Heights. And I like struggle to acclimate. I'm very different from our neighbors for a number of reasons. And at some point, around age 13, I started experimenting with weed and alcohol and whatnot. And over the next couple of years, it progressed to whatever was accessible. And then ultimately I got like in that realm almost immediately. After a few months, my parents really caught on. I started ending up in programs. So first would be an IOP, figure out how to cheat that system. Then
what does that mean?
Cheat the system?
Yeah, because a lot of people are throwing these, like sending people to this. And what does that mean, cheat the system?
Oh, you can cheat. I used it as a social hour because I'd never gotten to hang out with a bunch of older kids that also used drugs.
Right.
So that was geschmack. I learned a lot. Learned how to make a tattoo gun and everything, which probably was not what you want to learn.
Okay.
And for example, I learned all kinds of stuff. There was kids there was guys like 14, 15, 16. I was 14 when I ended up in that first program. Just learn weird stuff from these guys that are more experienced. Like when you send your kid to one of these programs, like no matter what your kid's intention and your intention is, you can't control who's going to end up there or why they're there. And so you could get a kid who is 16 whose parents put him in that program where the kid is indeed not a drug addict and just a drug dealer. And he's just using
good
this.
Businessman.
This is and no, not selling drugs to the kids, trying to escape a criminal charge.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay.
There's a number of different reasons that people can end up in programs. They're not, and some parents know this, like maliciously in a sense, where they don't care about the other kids. They don't care about nothing other than getting their kid out of trouble, and they'll use this system and help their kid pretend to be. This is not something that only happens with kids. This happens also with adults. This happens also in the regular court system. This happens in state-run programs as well. Drug dealers that get caught with drugs claim that it's for personal use, and then will say, "No, I'm a junkie." Then they'll end up in some rehab.
Right.
Trying to act like a junkie, even though they have no drug problem, and who knows what happens with this type of person and personality. But when you're an adolescent, you have a young kid who, like I was, experimenting, and I was using weed as much as I could, drinking Robitussin and all this type of whatever it was to rebel, feel better, control how I felt, you name it, and putting someone with a bunch of other people that are also in that situation at 13, 14, 15, what's the likelihood you're going to stick them all together and they're going to want to do the right thing?
Yeah. I happen to be I get into a lot of trouble for not wanting to send young people to rehab at all.
What happens if you take that kid, you strip him of the drugs, and you put him with a bunch of, somehow, I don't know what the system is, but you put him with a bunch of people that make doing the right thing look attractive and practical, and kind of help bring that kid up into a position of control over how he feels and what he's going to do with his future. But you have to not be so attached to the outcome, which a lot of people are for a number of different reasons, regardless of what demographic you come from. Secular world, it might be doctor. From the religious world, it might be koilo. It doesn't matter, the plug and play. It's as soon as you start playing God, understanding, things can start to get messed up, because someone might, I like to say, if there's however many different people there are that many different trajectories and reasons that this person is here.
Right.
On Earth. They're not making doubles or triples. They're not supposed to anyhow, when I say they.
Yeah, which ties into the, not everybody's good at those three things in business. I'm just saying,
right.
We're all different.
And even if you're good at all three, multitasking always will divide your attention span.
Yeah.
So even if you're good, it's like 3 jobs, 3 people.
Right.
You could have one that does 2, but now he's only going to devote.
I have the best allegory for that.
I don't know what allegory. I don't know.
A muscle. What's a muscle?
I know it's a muscle. No.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
A 3-in-1 printer. It does all 3 things terribly. If you want a good printer, get a printer that prints, and it'll do a great job. A 3-in-1 does all 3 things bad. That's how I see.
I hear you. Yeah.
It's always going wrong. One of those 3 things is always going wrong. Get the thing that specializes in that. That's my muscle.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Just to go way out there, I have a washing machine that's also a dryer.
We could go way out.
Yeah, and it microwaves your clothing for 4 hours to get it dry. It doesn't work.
That's okay. That has nothing to do with anything. Okay,
it's like your printer,
right?
It's not good.
What do you mean? It's a washer and a dryer? Oh man, I always.
And then I also have a dryer. I bought a dryer because I thought I was going to save space.
No, now you have a dryer as well. I like that.
And a microwave.
I always wondered if those things worked. I'm like, that doesn't make sense that they both would work. All right. So that's the muscle. Wait, so now you're going through these programs, IOP, you're saying what they need to hear, but living a different life.
The key was cheating the drug tests.
Right.
And then having fun in these programs. So you'd be using 5 days a week, and then a couple days before it was time to... Couple days. I don't want to say how I cheated it, but it was it worked flawlessly. So because I don't want to give anyone ideas. So you'd smoke weed and do whatever you wanted all week, come to the classes, whatever, and then a day or 2 before you'd stop, do what you had to do, and then go and take the test, and you'd pass.
Right.
We did this for 8 months.
Yeah,
I cheated 20.
Been amazed
20
by the
something
creativity
tests.
in this one. The creativity of how people cheat tests gets better and better. It's like hackers against cybersecurity. They just the more you try to tighten it down, the more I believe, like in our sober living, like the test is just, we're just doing it to like let people know we're testing. But if you have to catch someone by testing them, it's not going to work.
It's not true. If you mouth swab them,
you could. I have caught people the other way, but I'm saying is that almost every time I've caught someone, I knew they were using before I tested.
Yeah, that's also by us.
So the test was just the confirmation.
Yeah.
But to try to catch someone with a test, it's really not.
I would say catching someone with a test is usually an accident when it happens.
Yeah.
And most of the time you're just bring them into the office and you're like, listen, do us a favor. Let me save the test.
It's the same person 5 times. Do I have to answer? No, I'm not answering. It's not my wife.
You don't put it on airplane mode?
I don't put it on airplane mode because
I don't even have notifications on my phone. No ringer. No nothing.
What, in general?
Period. My phone doesn't ring. Ever.
I don't know what that means exactly. How do you know someone's calling?
I don't.
So you always call people back?
Sometimes.
So your phone is a pager?
Also not. It doesn't buzz.
No
notifications.
But you look at it once in a while.
I have to check it.
Right.
I check it when I want to check it. It doesn't tell me when to check it.
I don't get that. Okay, for all you wig wearers out there, this is a sponsorship by Wig Guru. Wig Guru is the solution you need for wigs slipping back when you're sick of seeing that hairline and you have to readjust your wig 20 times a night. You want to go to Wig Guru. It's wig-guru.com. They have every item you need, wig grips and wig glue, to make sure that wig always looks beautiful all night. This is an amazing product, and it's a small business by my wife. And go and support her. Put in the code BRAINSTORM, and you get 10% off. Now back to the episode. Okay, so you keep going. Let's go back to your story. I don't get it. We can hear you want to say your theory of why that's a good move? Yeah. What is it?
We can talk about it later. Anyway.
Okay.
So,
wait, so now you're going through programs.
Correct.
You did that your whole teenage life? Like when did you do?
Starting at 14.
14. And
no, honestly, I started using and all that stuff in like 8th grade. By that summer, like the second half of 8th grade, by that summer I was in some boarding school for like some summer program that was supposed to kind of keep me under wraps. I was with, again, these older kids. I learned more. Right. And so when I showed up there, I was barely really doing anything, smoking a little weed. And then I learned a few different stuff there. And everyone, half the kids smoked cigarettes there. That's where I learned to chew tobacco. I was 13 years old chewing tobacco. Geschmack.
You know, chewing
so
tobacco is a gateway drug to motorcycle riding.
I don't know what it is, but it's better than smoking. And you know why we chew tobacco? Because you don't smell like cigarettes, and you can do it wherever you are.
Right.
It's easier to sneak. Anyway.
Well, now they're doing vapes for that. Okay, anyway, go on.
Ew. Anyway, so.
Yeah.
Pretty much I started using within a few months. It was boarding school, then IOP, then therapists, then alternative school, like really intense behavior modification, SED, state funded school because the public school let me back. And so I was not like a dumb kid, and I wasn't behind in school yet. Like I was on par or advanced, but didn't have the grades to reflect it because you need to do your homework for whatever reason, separate conversation. And so there was just like lots of different things adding up to kind of, which I didn't buy any of it. Like I was like, I knew that like their scale wasn't accurate because I'm like,
what does it mean their scale?
Like how, we're going to go into another direction, but like the scale of all the testing and standardized testing.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like they could say, oh, you failed. We don't think you learned it. I'm like, yeah, but I did. And I'm smarter than your A student. Right. Not because I'm so smart, because they're just an average person. And so like, it was just, but for a kid, it's like, it gets to like, it's very disenfranchising, I guess.
Right.
And so it's like, what do you do with all of this information? So anyway, so program. And ultimately I got sent away when I was about to turn 16. I woke up. So I was in like my fifth alternative high school, doing decent. I had like a C grade point average at that point.
What happened? It was just like your parents kept being frustrated, like you're not getting better.
No, things got worse.
Things just got worse.
But like they got unhealthier. I got older. The drug use increased. I still was. They didn't really ever catch me. Like I was very blatantly using, but you can't catch me. So I'd be like, no, I don't use drugs. It's like, you're blasted. I'm like, prove it. And you can't prove it.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah. I started going to AA meetings at this time too. You know, I'm sober.
Before 16.
I went to my first meeting before I turned 14.
Holy cow.
In that boarding school.
All right.
But, yeah.
Okay. I'm amazed that didn't completely turn you off from AA.
No, I was an alcoholic.
Okay.
It was cool.
It was, okay. You got
hardcore.
Street cred.
I don't know with who.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it meant. I was a kid. I was a child.
Right.
Like momish.
Yeah, it's wild. When I have kids come into our place, like they're 13, 14 years old, I'm like, how are you even having thoughts yet? How is it even working?
Like my parents always, from before I even started using 12, one thing that, and I have wonderful parents, best friends, they're the best. And I judge my childhood on the opportunities they gave me. It's like a coin phrase I've been saying. Like I didn't take any of the opportunities. I ruined them. I threw them back in my parents' face. All the adults that were around me, I misused and abused their love. Like nothing bad happened to me. No one did anything to me. Were they perfect? No, but they were responding to whatever it was. They were doing the best that they could. And in hindsight, I was like, yeah, I grew up in a great neighborhood, great family, great everything. Everything's perfect where I grew up. I'm responsible for whatever it was. Anyway, but before, I think it had something to do with the city parents in the suburbs, where the suburb kids, like you could sleep on your front lawn at night. Nothing was going to happen to you.
Right.
Like a couple kids, sleeping bags, front lawn in the middle of the summer. This is where we're sleeping.
You can still do that in Shaker Heights?
I don't know if you can now,
okay.
but we did growing up.
Okay, cool.
But that, not if you're from New York. Oy.
Wait, so what happened? You went to programs.
No, but with this,
I'm going to make it a little quicker.
I hear you.
You got to get to Baltimore today.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
My parents, they kind of blamed the influence on like exterior. Oh, this person's a bad influence. This person, but I don't really. I learned stuff from other kids, but they weren't bad influences. I was rigorously searching for it, you know. Right. And then as soon as I learned whatever it was, I grasped it with everything that I had, and I was the bad influence, you know. And so like I would always fight with my parents. Like, they're not a bad influence. I'm the bad influence.
That's what you'd say?
Yeah, I'm like, stop saying I can't hang out with these people. It has nothing to do with them.
Right.
Really, they shouldn't be allowed to hang out with me. Anyway, so ultimately,
There's actually a lot of similarities with my story and your story.
Yeah.
I'm listening to a lot. No, a lot happened with me before 16. I went away. I eventually moved to Israel at 16. So I already was on my own at that point. That was like a whole nother world. But everything happened really young. And I was the kid that one of the schools I went to, the person running the school made an assembly where he announced the 7th and 8th grade that no one's allowed to hang out with me in the assembly because I was the bad influence. They didn't kick me out because my mother was always in the school trying to bail me out. But they kicked me out a lot of times, but they let me graduate at the end. But I was the one that the kids couldn't hang out with, which kind of sucked. It was sad as a kid. But the other parents figured that. That happened to me too. What?
That happened to me too.
Yeah, it's pretty sucky. Anyways, okay, so you're going program to program to program. You're
mainly
kid.
They were kind of school. They were more like bad kid schools.
Bad kid schools.
And I was with really bad kids and really sick kids.
Right.
That
That's
weren't
the
they
thing.
weren't drug addict kids. They were sick.
Right.
They were
But what does it mean sick? What does it mean?
they were just,
Like mental health issues or?
you could say that now, but it was you know what severe emotional disturbance means?
Yeah.
They were SED kids.
Right.
So they would just stand up in the middle of class and smile and then flip a desk
Right.
and disrupt the whole class and get carried out just for fun.
Okay.
And so like that was the school I was in, and two kids would plan to start a fight in class just for fun.
Was it weird for you to be in a school with those type of kids?
I mean, I understood how to navigate it just fine. Like I understand people all right.
Right.
But I always kind of like gravitate towards people that struggle, that are outcasted, that are lonely, losers, annoying. That's me.
Right.
Like chap. And I am attracted to those kinds of people. I love those kinds of people. Those people are me. Even if I can navigate it and understand it differently for myself so that I can function semi-normally in society. So it wasn't so crazy, but it was very frustrating when I was learning how to write a 5-paragraph essay at age 14, where I was easily capable of writing a book.
Really? Because all right. I mean, you were
Which I did like a year later, 2 years later.
You wrote a book?
Yeah.
Where's your book? I want to read your book.
It was about the boarding school that I ultimately got sent to.
You wrote a book about that.
I wrote a book inside of the school about how it functioned and how people functioned within the
How do I get that book?
within like the landscape of this school, about how the staff function, how they make decisions. I do social experiments on the staff, specifically so that I could understand how much was real on their side when they would say, "Oh, we know," or this is how we feel about XYZ. I'd create situations just to see them do their little charade and then write about it.
I like that.
And which helped me a lot later, like kind of understanding, like, if you want to turn your life around, like you can get help, but it really does. People can give you the help, but ultimately you really have to, it really has to come from you. Like no one really knows what's right for someone else. And a lot of times they're more than guessing. They are ill-equipped.
Right.
Anyway,
Okay,
so we're in boarding school.
Yeah,
Never mind. No. We're in this
I want to
bad
get to
kid
the
school.
AZ house.
I know. We're in this bad kid school, like with a bunch of kids that are very far behind. It's just bad for the self-esteem. Is trapped, whatever. And ultimately, I get to another school, and then I got sent away. I get woken up at 6 a.m. or less, 5
two
in the morning.
guys.
You got it. 2 guys.
Utah?
I ended up in Utah. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I woke up 2 guys. I look at them and I said, "You have
Sorry,
2."
I'm not supposed to smile. I just love that it's the same thing
I'm
each
still
time.
talk to some of these people. I would consider my therapist, who was my wilderness therapist, my colleague at this point. I refer to him.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of the greatest
In
guys.
Utah.
He's probably I don't want to say the only therapist I hold by, but
Hey, I'm a therapist.
I hear you.
Wait a minute.
And he has a program also. He's in the for-profit treatment center world. I have a lot of respect for him.
Okay.
Anyway, so I woke up, end up in the middle of the woods, and don't come home for 2.5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's important. At some point, and my story hasn't changed from then till today. At some point, pretty quickly, I understood the trajectory that my life was going on, and I genuinely wanted to do something different. And I was never given the opportunity.
That doesn't explain how it was to be stuck 2.5 years.
Well, what ends up happening is you have this kid that really wants to do well. Within a certain I wanted to go home. I got the point. My parents had a crazy amount of control over me, and I was really ruining my life. And I understood it all, and I wanted to go home and be with my family, and I missed my family. I was never given that opportunity. I was then transferred to kind of like I would say it's kind of like extortion and manipulation between all the systems that are in place to get your parents to then sell you the coupon that you are to a boarding school, an aftercare program. And so the boarding school that I went to, which the founders of the boarding school that I went to, I guess, were the founders of an organization that vets these types of boarding schools.
Okay.
Talk about conflict of interest.
Right.
And they split the kid from the parents. There's lots of meetings that happen behind your back. And the way that I saw the wilderness programs, they were just these holding units to figure out how to get you into one of these programs without you protesting. And if you protest, you're not doing good.
Right.
Even though that, like, it doesn't make sense necessarily, and especially the length of time that I was gone for.
I mean, they're trying to make you obedient.
Oh, and they do. They do.
They're very successful at that.
Yeah, and I ended up running away from that boarding school at some point, ending up back in this place. My parents were coached to lie to get me back into whatever it was, and I ended up in the wilderness program again. And this time, I was threatened that if I don't comply, my parents are going to file for custody for me till I was 21, which I was 17 at the time. And the interesting thing was, like, again, here's the stories. I really just wanted to be with my family. My grades were great. I wanted to do the right thing. And I was doing the right thing. It was very unnatural, a lot of the parameters from inside of this place. Like, I wasn't a bad kid. I was probably better than the average kid in any high school at that point. But wasn't good enough for whatever reason. And so, like, a lot of times in that boarding school was like, it was a combination of compliance, and even if you do the right thing, you're not going to get what you want. So what's the point? And so you're still developing. I was still developing, I think. And it took me a bunch of years after that to be shown a system where if you do the right thing, you actually will get what you want.
Right.
If you do the right thing, it'll actually be good.
So where was that?
You want to go to Baltimore?
No, well, first of all,
Hey,
I don't
you
know.
want me to expedite
I want
it?
to tell you something. No. So one of the saddest things I've ever seen is the Utah programs in my eyes. I'm not saying they're not good people there. There's a lot of good people there.
Wilderness programs?
Wilderness and other.
6-week programs?
All these programs in Utah where they force kids to be there at a young age and try to change them. I've seen very, very little success in my experience with this.
I think we talked about this years ago.
Right. For many, many reasons, I see not a lot of success. But what the saddest thing is that the parents will spend fortunes of money and the kids. I've had kids come right out of these programs, 3-4 years of being there, and like the first thing they're looking for is drugs. Like, please just give me more drugs.
That's what happened with me.
Right. So it's like the amount that you put in when you could have just figured out a way to deal with them at home for a while till they're really ready to make changes. That's been my theory. So I'm very disturbed by these programs.
So what I'll tell you is it probably wouldn't have been easy and it wouldn't have been perfect. But like being away for that first few weeks, like really did shift me. And again, I wasn't given the opportunity to show that or try, which is really important. Working with people. Sometimes if you have a guy that claims he wants to do well and he picks his own path, you can tell him you can do your path. I want you to hear the alternative path also. Mm-hmm. But if you're genuinely invested in your future, dude, you can pick the wrong path and we'll be here with you. And if you realize it's the wrong path, we just change trajectory. But if you don't let them go down their path and you force them into another one, forever they're going to be thinking about, I wish I could have tried it my way, or my way could have worked. And sometimes people need to just be given that opportunity.
This is why we get along so well. Do you know how unique that approach is? I'm saying is that everybody has, this is the path. You do any other path, get the hell away from me. Like that, I have nothing to do with you. I'm not helping you. You're not part of my life because this is the path. If you don't take this path, you're in trouble. That has been always my perspective. Parents are like, they call me or people call me like, oh, listen, what I want to do is, listen, let's do what you want to do. You want to ask me advice? I'll tell you exactly what I think is a good idea for you. But let's try yours first. And if that doesn't work, let's try it. But I've seen people take other paths that I wouldn't even have suggested, and they're doing great. I have that. You know what I'm saying is like always start with their own path. So it's a very unique view.
So this later on, after I opened the house, there was a case that was very similar to mine, going to this boarding school, and based on everything that I witnessed and experienced personally, with the family and this kid, it was a kid. I was like, let's do everything that should have been done different with me. Let's do it with him. And I go, it's not going to go exactly the way that you want, but it'll be good enough. Like in a, and it did, and it worked. He picked his path. He didn't like it. He's like, okay, you were right. He got to skip going to wilderness. He got to skip going to some boardings. He got to skip all of this crazy intervention, and is, happy, healthy, growing up, like, and has, been sober for a whole bunch of years now from a very young age. I don't want to admit at what age we took him. Gotcha. So I don't want that on record. But yeah, like it was almost like a, I don't want to say that it was,
so now you're in the system that your program is the opposite of all these systems.
I used a lot of stuff that I learned from all these plays.
Okay, fine.
That's for sure.
So where did you? Okay, you're leaving boarding school. I'm forcing you forward. Sorry.
You want me to just blast through it?
Well, you
legitimately blast through it.
You don't have to blast through. I want to hear it, but you
boarding school was whatever. Terrible because it was compulsory. Had it not been, it would have been a much better program. But you can't do that with kids,
right?
So I got actually trapped there for twice as long as you're supposed to be there. I was there for the whole charade was 32 months, which it's only supposed to be 16. They now own my parents' house, you chap. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Baruch Hashem for them. And then I got spit out, and for the next 5 years was using heroin and hard drugs almost immediately. Like, and yeah, like I could get into the different, like really sad and depressing, and I was in college and had to drop out. I was doing okay except for I couldn't see the test. I was really in a lot of pain. It was a lot of trauma that came from being in this place. A lot of it mainly because it was compulsory and disciplinary and all of those things that just come with this thing. So I come out, like, can't relate to kids my age. Like can't relate. Like I have an intellectual, emotional, like, I don't want to. I have you have an emotional maturity, which is how the way I understand.
Maybe it was language, intellectual, emotional language.
But the way that I felt emotions was still like a child,
right?
Like, so I had this vast understanding, like you almost like knowing too much for your own good emotionally. It was bad, so I couldn't relate to people my own age. Couldn't relate to, and so whatever. And so for the next, whatever, it was just what it was. It was bad, and it got worse and worse and worse, and ultimately to what it appeared to be the end of my life. That was, more rehabs, detoxes, therapists, Suboxone maintenance, every initiative tried in that 5 years, me moving to South Carolina, coming back. Like, my parents were always there, always supporting me in a way where they never didn't answer the phone. They gave me a few dollars here and there. I would not say that they enabled me at all. They helped keep me alive, and they kept, like, when I closed my eyes, I always knew that someone loved me, like the real kind of love, the kind of love that is holding you accountable. They weren't my friends, they were my parents. They're still my parents. Even today, they're my parents. They're also my friends, kind of, I guess, but they're still my parents. And first and foremost. And I love that.
Right.
So, yeah, but I'm about to die, basically. I'm in and out of hospitals. I'm 200 pounds right now. I was 75 pounds less than that when I got sober.
Really?
Yeah.
You're 125 pounds? You're tall.
127.
How tall?
I don't want to lie. It was 127. I'm 6 feet tall. It was hard to sit on an uncushioned chair. I remember going to my doctor. My face was so gaunt. I remember pulling out my ID, which was like 6 months old, and I started crying. I basically, asking her, well, will I ever be able to look like this again? Crying. Like, I felt like I was so messed up. I was like, I've ruined my future. I've ruined my life. And the one interesting thing about me is I was a little crazy, but my mind was still very intact. I was in and out from oblivion, but when I came out of it, like, I was this smart, understanding, compassionate, hurt kid. I wasn't brain rot. I wasn't like, oh, you did a bunch of brain damage. It's not true. My memory, everything, it was sharp. And so it was like this terrible...
You were watching yourself
die.
And
I couldn't stop, and I couldn't imagine life. I didn't think that I could ever be normal again, or I don't know. And luckily, I ended up in this after my parents had nothing left, and after they had tried everything, and everyone around me had been exhausted. My father, this is the actual what happened. My father was talking to one of his friends who was trying to help.
Right.
They were probably coached by a therapist to kind of start to involve a third party that's less emotionally invested. Great, I attribute his name's Bill Arroyo, and I attribute my life. There's a lot of people, and I want to just mention him in case he sees it,
right?
Because he helped save my life. Anyway. He had a friend who went to this treatment center a bunch of years ago, and they said maybe he could try this thing. And so only through, not a professional, just a layman, just a random person, basically, my parents were told about a program that was 10 minutes away from their house, that had always been 10 minutes away from their house, that didn't cost anything. And later I found out most of the people in Cleveland in my position, and they all went to these places. In fact, no one at that time went to paid places. In fact, we would kind of laugh at people that went to these paid places because we'd be like, oh, you want to go to the comfortable place where they give you a massage and you can float in the hot tub, and the 28-day place in and out, oil change. I don't know. We were just like, if you want to change, you got to change.
What was this place like?
Which place?
The place in Cleveland that you went to.
Oh, it's the AZ House is based off.
So tell us about it. Why was it different for you than all the other places?
So I was terminally unique, and as everyone else is, which makes
That's a quote, bro. Oh, I like that. Say it again. I was
terminally unique, just like everyone else.
Oh my Lord!
I was so unique that they even made a pamphlet about it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Called "Are You Different?" Oh man,
that's so great.
And I was brought to this place a few times, like dragged there, all sick. Talked to the guys. I can't stay here. Leave. But eventually, there's another guy I want to shout out because I don't know if he's even alive. Can I say him?
Everybody, let's go.
Yeah, his name was Terry Hewitt. And he sat me down. I hope he's still alive. He sat me down and he just talked to me. He's like, it's going to be all right, kid. And I didn't know that he wasn't a staff. He was a resident.
Oh, he's a resident.
He was there like 3 weeks. He's like, it's going to be all right, kid. And he sat there and he talked to me for like an hour. And I asked him lots of questions like, yo, what's up? Like, what are you using? What is the thing? Do you feel happy? Do you feel good? Do you feel better? Can I be okay? Will I be okay? Like, because I was in a serious position. It was no longer like cute or like, ooh, I'm anxious. It was like, I'm dying. I looked sick. Like, it was a question whether they would accept me or drag me to a hospital. And he just talked to me and I believed him for some reason. I don't know why. It was like he was able to reach me and he understood everything that I was going through, which is what it started to break down the wall. And it was like, I started to realize like there is a solution for people like me because he's telling me that there is, and he's claiming to have been in the same exact situation that I am. And there's nothing in it for him. I think I figured out he was not a staff member. And then ultimately I didn't understand that it was free. The place didn't cost anything. And then I kind of found that out after the fact, even because they didn't even talk about it. They didn't market themselves as a free place. It just happened to not cost anything for some reason. And yeah, it wasn't even like, the AZ.
I just want to say for other people, it's not even insurance.
No insurance,
just
no government
free.
money, no grants, no nothing. It's a community asset funded by the community if the community wants it. And if they don't, it will close.
Right. I think people don't really understand what that means because all these programs are free because I use my insurance.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, oh, please. Like, we've expanded now 3 times.
Right.
We have now 41 beds plus a 7-bed guest room for people that are on gap year that want to be part of a sober community, by Shabbos, kosher, shomer, sober Shabbos. Plus our step down houses or step up houses, however you want to call it.
Thank you. You gonna step down? I want to coin the step up thing.
Why? You want to coin it?
I just think you're stepping up.
I think that they're stepping out.
Okay.
Step out houses.
Okay, I can do step out,
but not
houses.
an outhouse.
A step out. I'll take step out.
Or stepping in.
Step in. Okay.
Into society.
But not step down.
They're stepping into society.
Our next sponsor is Our Village Women's Home, which is called Ma's House. Our Village Men, I've talked about a million times on the podcast, is the most beautiful, loving, caring experience you could possibly have in the transition from coming out of rehab and integrating back beautifully into the world. The Woman's House, we have went above and beyond, besides for being just the most incredible clinically that you could be that we have in the Men's House. It also is absolutely beautiful. You're never going to find a place that's more loving, more caring, and more supportive than Our Village Women's Home. So if you have a loved one who needs help, if you need help, reach out to Our Village Women's Home. You could go on the ourvillageny.org website and reach out and tell them you need some help, and you're going to get it. Enjoy.
So we're winding back. It was just the first time that I felt like the people that were helping me wanted to help me. And that what they were offering could work. And they claimed it worked really fast. And never mind that I claimed that it worked really fast. I saw that it worked really fast. So I go up to a guy laughing, schmoozing. I'm like, what were you doing? He's like, oh yeah, I was smoking crack and shooting heroin. And I'm like, sick. How long you been here? He's like, 3 weeks. I'm like, 3 weeks? Like, you're laughing. How do you sleep? He's like, I'm sleeping good. Best slept I've had in a long time. I'm like, you're happy? He's like, I'm happy. I'm like, you feel like comfortable? He's like, yeah, I've got friends here, bro. I feel love. I was like, I could start crying right now. I was like, is that? After the...
What are they doing different? What are you doing different?
After the $500,000 that my parents spent with their lives and their time and their hearts, why weren't they offered that first? Well, we know why.
Right.
Anyway,
what are they? What are you doing? What are they doing different there? What your experience there? Let's say, or your. I mean, you built your program around it, but
what are they doing different? It's like there's multiple.
No, because I'm saying that people sent to programs. Why aren't they feeling that love? Why aren't they feeling that connection? Why isn't the solution necessarily working like that? Why are they dealing with a 10 to 20% success rate? What is happening that is different?
Where do they have such a high success rate? 10 to 20%. That's geschmack.
They claim that success rate.
Like for a year or for permanent abstinence?
I don't think anybody has ever done research on permanent abstinence, but they have 1 to 5 year research.
Yeah, and the 1 to 5 year research that I saw is about 2 to 3%.
If you're going from detoxes, you're talking about actual programs? You're getting 1 to 3?
No. If you slice the addict that's been in some sort of program It could be detoxes, I guess.
The detox is a 1 to 3%. It's
That I never even thought that people ran statistics on detoxes that it was negligible.
well, because the detox is sometimes some of those people ended up in programs, so they didn't follow where it goes. But if you walk into a detox, your chance is about 2%.
Of leaving there and staying sober for the rest of your life?
Yeah, about 2%.
Or for 5 years. My understanding was
Well,
if
no
you
one
go
does,
to
yeah.
program, any addict who goes to a program, you can choose your poison, whether it's inpatient, outpatient, long-term resident, whatever it is, that after 5 years, you add all these programs together, you get like a 2 to 3% success rate.
No, I mean, I've looked at the research, and it's somewhere between 10 and 20 if you take the
pretty
program.
good.
If you're taking detox, it's 2%. But if
Got
you
it.
go further along, and sober livings, I've seen numbers like hitting like 40%, like much, much better, like long-term sober livings. Not either of our programs. Our programs are way. If I was 40%, I would shut down today.
Why?
Because I don't want.
Yeah, but you're talking
I want a real
40%.
program for long term. I want people to be healthy. Like I'm
you're
building
talking
programs.
40% over any scalable. Like, here's the truth.
Yeah.
Your program and my program. Let's assume for a second that we both
Yeah.
have a 50% success rate.
Right.
Let's just claim that for a second.
Okay, I claim more. Go on.
Fine. Yeah.
I want to claim more. I mean, I'm saying I'm all right with assuming it, but I want to tell the world that this idea that people can't get better is a lie.
Okay.
That's why I say more. Keep
Yeah,
going.
but if we fast forward 20 years into the future,
Yeah.
that number is going to drop.
It is dropping. I had my
The
first
longer we're
program.
open, the more our success rate will go down.
Yes.
Okay.
But I look back at my program from 12 years ago, which I had to stop, and I still have those numbers of guys, and it's still in around the 70% range. And that's we're talking about 11, 12 years ago. So if you integrate people really, really well and they do in the work, it has a massive success. Maybe it's in the 60s. But I'm saying if it drops down to like 20, it wouldn't make me happy. That's all I'm saying.
I also think it depends on how you cut that statistic.
Wait, you need your mic. You're getting too involved.
I got
Hold on.
yeah. I want to
Just take the mic with you.
I want to get into the.
Let's go.
I want to.
Just make sure you're still in the screen.
Am I
Yeah.
still on the screen?
Just get the mic in front of your face, like you're a rock star.
Do we count people that were in the house for 2 days?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do, because what I see what's happening is that I always see this as an experiment in a weird way, where I want to know, like if let's say, now this is the best way to say this. Most programs say my statistics start when you graduate. You did my program, you did it right. Let's see how the statistics work. Now that's true, but that makes the onus on the person who came to the program because he finished it. If the onus is on us, like if we were like, hey, somebody showed up to your place. Now you have to figure out how to hold this person long enough that they're going to make the right changes and grow. That's how I see it. Now I have plenty of people that come and go in a day, and what am I supposed to do? But the truth is, the way I see it is, he came into this place. Well, now we got he and she, but they came into this place, and they didn't feel safe enough to stay. I just think most people will stay if they feel loved and safe. Like if they had that conversation with the guy the guy said, you're going to be all right, kid. You're going to be all right. That's the place you want to stay for a little while. You want to give them a little bit of a chance. If you're missing that, you're like, dude, you don't want to do my program? Get the F out. Like that experience, you're going to lose a lot of people in the first month. One of the things that I think is, I'm saying there are problems with my program as well, but one of the things that's amazing is that no one ever wants to leave. Partially because it's incredibly luxurious and wonderful. But what I'm saying is so that's a little different than your program. But I want to
Not our
make
new
it.
house.
Oh, it's nice? I can't wait to visit. Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
We got refrigerators in all the rooms.
Whoa.
Hotel beds, smart TV.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm saying is,
They're like little Airbnb hotel rooms at the new house. But that's for the guys that are in the second portion of the program once they earn that.
right.
Not just gonna hear. You're You're not just giving something that you don't earn. Then you won't value it.
No, I love it. I love it. So what I'm saying is that I want my statistics. What I say are not for graduates. It's for graduates. It's a way harder statistic. I take both the numbers, but to me, if you lost a guy, bring him back. You know, a lot of these guys, figure out how to get him back, how to get him back into the program, how to help him. I just think if someone is handed to you, then you have a responsibility to figure out how to do the best for them. Now, it's not going to work every time, and they might not take it, but they should feel wonderful enough to stay. That is one of my theories. So that's where I'm getting the numbers. So I'm not hung up on the numbers. I'm not so hung up on the numbers, but I am saying that if my numbers start dropping, if guys start leaving within the first week or two, I have to now look at that and go, okay, why? What's going on? Because most people stay. They love it. Why are they starting to leave? Are we approaching this differently? So that's why I look at the numbers from the day they come in.
So I would say there's a big difference is that you're getting guys that are
post-rehab.
Correct.
Yes.
This is a rehab.
But I would do the same thing with rehab, numbers-wise.
Yeah, but the difference is...
I would take both numbers. If you want to give the world the other numbers, you can.
So
but for me,
what we did is we invited a guy in to review all of our data and write a research paper on our actual statistics. We call it a third-party audit.
Right.
And we published it.
Where?
It's on our website.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm going to go check it out.
You have all angles, even the really uncomfortable data, that's public.
Nice. Okay.
The really uncomfortable data. So
the most uncomfortable data is the guy who showed up, and like for everybody that showed up, how many people we could help, hurts that we can't help all the people we want to help.
Well, yes. So I think that one of the things, which I want to circle back to what happened and what makes this program different. Some people, it's not that everyone's ready to get better. Everyone is ready. Everyone's ready to have
Could you explain that?
Everyone's ready to be happy. No one's like, not. It's the craziest. That's the biggest fake news blaming the patient that I've ever heard.
Eric, I love you so much, man. I was so happy. I don't think I've ever clapped on my podcast before. I'm giving you that's an incredibly beautiful thing to say. Okay, so let me push back. Let me do the regular pushback. I have it because I'm.
You want to go for 4 hours? I'll just do Shabbos here in Muncie.
You figure it out. I'm ready to go as long as you want. My memory cards are long enough. Listen. Okay, so let me push back so you can explain that a little better. The most commonly used phrase that I've heard in any type of mental health and addiction is the patient has to want to get better, and that's why they're not getting better. They have to want to get better. You just said everybody wants to get better.
Of course, we're human. Like, well, so I'm gonna. Who do you offer? Hey, you can come and work at. I have a burger joint, right? They're next to each other. I own them both, right? One of them I pay $5 an hour, and the other one I pay $20. The same people work in both even. It's not like your friends in the $5 one. They're both in the same place. No one's ever going to pick the $5. It's a bad analogy, but you chap.
Right.
Like no one ever picks the worser option. As long as they can conceptualize it and they understand it, they'll always pick what they perceive to be the best thing. So like there's no...
So the only reason they're choosing to stay in this unhealthy behavior is because that's the best thing right now.
They see that as the best option.
They haven't been offered a better option.
Well, or they don't understand the option. And that's what you're talking about in your retention and convincing them and letting them know that this is actually what they want. It's like imagine if like we could look into the future and we would know that if I presented you this food, it would be your favorite. But you've never tried it before. And I'm going to put that food next to your current favorite food. You're going to always pick your current favorite food because you don't understand what you're going to maybe get out of this thing. Unless you're like doing for lunch and then also have a choice by dinner.
Right.
And to most people, I'll just go like.
You know what I'm loving about this is because I really dislike the idea that addiction is insanity. I really don't like that because there's a real logic to it. This thing is helping me. As sick as it is.
Insanity?
The idea of calling addiction insanity, meaning there's no logic to it at all. That's kind of what's being implied when you're saying addiction is insanity. It's not insanity. I have found the solution to my problem. It's not you telling me the other solution, but I have never found another solution. This is the only thing that has ever helped me in my life, and I'm choosing to do that. That's not insane.
No.
That's logical. And what you're saying is they just have to see that there's another solution, and then they can logically make that decision. Of course, it's very hard to make that decision.
There's more to it than that, but yeah.
But I'm saying,
yes.
What I'm saying is, like, when people say addiction is insanity, you're basically saying that there's some crazy insanity happening. It's not crazy. There's some real serious logic from some very smart people to choose the way of addiction.
Drugs and alcohol are a substitute for what's supposed to be there in the first place.
Right.
And there's what's supposed to be in there. What is lacking, that's sometimes different for different people. But ultimately, the recipe of what's supposed to be there in the first place is the same for everyone because we're human.
And what's that? What is the recipe? What is it
that's
they're
supposed to be there?
Right.
I don't want to. Well, I'll tell you like this. Take a normal person. I always like to use my father as the analogy. I've said this a lot of times. My dad, I see him as a semi-normal person. So, but if I take him, this is very sad to picture it. But if I take my father and I pull him away from his family and his work and his friends and his swimming, because he likes to exercise, okay? And I stick him in a room with no artwork, very awful room, and I make him watch Tom and Jerry and feed him only Cheetos and Hot Pockets, chas v'shalom, and disrupt his sleep, and don't give him any social interaction, give him nothing productive to do, and whatever else, like, and you
it's
do
bad.
that, and what?
Just a bad situation.
There's this to this normal person that
Right.
all of these organic structures that get disrupted and destroyed, like he's going to emerge after a month with like severe social anxiety and depression and all these like mental health problems and all of these symptoms that are they're just natural responses to this really out of whack organic situation. And so when you go and you analyze a lot of the guys coming into the house, like they don't know what they like. Okay, fine. They don't know what's fun. Okay, fine. But you find that like they don't have connection with other people. They're not being productive. They're not sleeping properly. They're not eating properly, and they're using drugs and alcohol to deal with the fact that all of these other
Pull the mic.
Organic situations, which when you put all together, then start to produce a life that's geschmack to live. So you can feel that goodness from living this good life. And so if you can't feel this goodness because you're not living this right way, drugs and alcohol are a good solid alternative.
Right.
And so there's different reasons that stop a person from doing that. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying, oh, there's no mental health issues. Of course there are. But a lot of people, like I like to say, like, let's see if we can't get you happy and healthy and still have all your problems. And if we can get you in a practical way able to get through your day with a smile and with love and
How can I have
connection.
problems and still be happy and healthy?
Oh, well, we all do. That's just, it's not even a question. That's everyone on earth. It's a question whether you're happy or not, or you're not working on your problems, or you're blowing them out of proportion, that's a whole other
I think
conversation.
the reason I'm asking that question then I feel like how the Western world sees that if everything is not perfect, I can't be happy and healthy.
Oh, newsflash, nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Well, I feel like that is a newsflash to the Western world.
Oh,
Meaning I think that's a newsflash.
Yeah. Do you know anyone that? Yeah, no.
I think everybody's like, how am I supposed to be happy?
Everything is
my kids
all right.
aren't happy.
Everything
is
is
happy. I'm not doing well in school. How am I so happy? I feel anxiety when I'm in a room. How am I supposed to be happy?
Oh, that's true.
Right. What I'm saying is like you're pitching a very sane model, But I'm telling you, it's what we call in Judaism a chiddush. It's something new. Machidush.
It's not a chiddush.
It's not a chiddush, but it is
not.
a chiddush to people who think, oh my God, I can't be happy. I'm feeling all these feelings.
Why are we always learning? Why are we always working on ourselves? Why are we trying to get to higher and higher levels? Because we're trying to get through these.
Well, I'll say nowadays, a lot of people are like, I want everything to be perfect so that I could be happy. That is what people are constantly telling me they want to do. I need to fix my problem with my wife. I need to fix my problem with the kids. I'm going to fix this, and then I can be happy. That is how
the way around.
I understand that.
If you get okay, then we can work on these problems.
What I'm trying to say is this is a breath of fresh air, because what I constantly, especially I'm dealing with like these healing communities, and it's like they're pushing off their happiness until everything is better.
It's because they don't have an answer.
Okay, what's the answer?
If what we're saying is true, it's a big problem.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
Well, what I say is that addiction and use is a very spiritual experience, and it's just the wrong spiritual experience. But something outside of us, taking care of us and holding us and healing us and us feeling connected is what we're seeking, and that's what we need. So that's what drugs make you feel, but it's not real. So
it's inorganic.
It's an inorganic
spiritual experience.
Spiritual experience, exactly.
So, and that's the substitute for the organic spiritual experience that is mamash not a chiddush. It's always been there.
Right.
So letting the guys know that we can wake up today, talk to the homie.
Talk to the homie.
Think about what we're going to do today. Get ready and come downstairs, say what's up to the guys, and like be okay and not have to be anything and not need to be perfect, and understand that if I'm working on myself and I'm growing and I'm, applying, it's just a combination of a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of different, and a little bit of discipline. And those are like the two very important ingredients in service, because like true service, a lot of times you'll have to do things you don't necessarily want to do or don't want to do right now. And you have to make yourself do it. And these are the things that kind of like reach the world and connect you to it. And so if you can become a part of, that's another way to say connection, which is what we're missing.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, wait. Could I? Okay, so let me ask you.
So with these guys, so they don't have to solve all their problems to be okay. They just don't. It doesn't make sense. No adult that I know doesn't have issues, but some are happy and some aren't. Some are happy not being perfect, and some, I don't know if they're even that self-aware.
I have this issue with the healing community. Like, there's a lot of people healing. And what you're saying is you're fine right now. You can be happy right now and work on yourself. It doesn't have to be a conflict. When I'm saying, it's not that things are fine. I know people get a little annoyed when I say you're fine right now. But you could be happy right now in the worst experience of your life. You could be happy. You just need... You could then work on all the things, but you have the ability to realize that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and this is fine if you're able to experience it.
The goal isn't happiness.
That's true too.
The goal isn't happiness.
So what's the goal?
I guess understanding that everything's okay and gonna be okay. I don't know what the goal is. Like, who am I to say? I just know that happiness isn't. I know that happiness is a byproduct of living a certain way. I think the goal is to be a certain type of person despite the situation and despite how you feel. And ultimately, if you're a certain type of person, you'll have a certain type of life. And then you'll have the things that type of life produce. And a lot of times it's a lot of fulfillment, happiness, community, friendship, oneness with the Creator. And if you can't do that, drugs and alcohol are also a good option. Seriously. And that's why I think people use drugs, is because they're not given a path on how to acquire that. The joke's on the world, because the path to acquire that is very simple. It's not lofty. It doesn't cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, or else everyone would be in a program, drugs or not.
How is it free?
Right? Yes.
How is it free? Yes, I agree with you. How is it free?
How is the AZ house free?
How
it's not
is
free.
AZ house free?
It's not free.
I know it's not free, but how is it
The
free
house
for the
costs
person?
money. The food costs money. The staff costs money. Air costs money. No.
I mean, I'm running a program. Everything costs so much money. I don't know how to make it free. And I think our programs are not so far off from each other.
Never mind. We have a day program that's 24/7 staffed with multiple staff.
Right.
There, we have 20 something guys. We have 15, 20 guys in the primary intensive inpatient portion of our program, with groups all day, staff all day, working on step work, one-on-ones, the whole thing. Like, we're full-blown treatment center.
Right. How is it free? I want to do the same thing. Tell me, how is it free? That is my goal. I get laughed at because, from other people, but my goal is the same as yours. I want it to be free. And then I'm going to ask, why is it free? But go on. How is it free?
I don't know. We fundraise the relatively low overhead.
Well, how is it relatively low?
What do you mean? Well, it's relatively low compared to the alternative. And like this, our budget's $550. It's grown a few times because we've expanded.
Right.
But our overhead is $550,000 a year.
Right.
Okay. 50 to 60 people can go through our program in a year. So if you do the math on that, we'll average, we'll call it $12,000 for a person to go through our 9-month program. And so, you can just run through the numbers. We have a certain amount for salaries, which are not crazy. They're not put my kid through school salaries.
I know that's probably my biggest problem. Go on.
Okay. The rent for both of the houses together is $10,000 a month, because of where we're located. Although they're beautiful houses, and big.
I've been there and they're nice.
And then you just arrange some food donations and fundraise.
It's just fundraising.
Just fundraise.
All right, so now the next question. Why is it free? What is the benefit of it being free? Why don't you just charge everybody? Now you're saying the program costs $12,000. Just charge them $12,000. Why is it free?
Why not charge them? I have a better question. Why not charge them $15,000? The value is geschmack.
Dude, you could charge $10,000 a month.
And now that you think about it, I bet I could charge $15,000 a month because our product is good.
It's very good. Okay. Why not?
I don't. My question is why not 20? I think I could probably get them for 20.
You probably could get them for 20. Dude, there are programs here at 30,000.
I'm not immune.
I got you. What I'm asking here, and I think I know the answer, but
it's conflict of interest.
I know part of the answer.
For me, it's conflict of interest. Period. And what happened with my family and what I see that happens to most people.
Explain that.
Basically,
I want to know what the clinical reason of it being free.
Yeah.
Why does it help more? That's what I want to know.
So,
put the mic in front of your face.
All right,
Sorry.
Joe.
Okay. You can pull it towards you. You could go wherever you want. The mic follows you, brother.
I didn't realize it till after the fact with myself. So after talking to Terry and Dave Falkenstein, who also ultimately pulled me into this place, who I couldn't tell who was staff and who was residents. Like, I was a little bit out there, but the behavior and the composure of the people inside of the place, they were really trying to help each other. And it was a very serious place. It was very loving. It was very fun, but it was very act like a grown-up. And they could demand that type of thing because if you don't like it, you can leave, which I know that you're against it.
No. I like that.
you're against it, or not against it, but you said like, hey, if you don't like it our way, you can leave. I did get that vibe, but everyone was doing the right thing and no one was leaving. Because
it was loving and comfortable.
But also serious. So I like to coin it. This is an adult program. If you want to act like a child, someone's going to have to pay for your babysitting. And it's like sexy to be a grown up because you get to do what you want. It's one of my sales pitches to the guys. Wouldn't it be geschmack to never have to ask anyone permission? Well, that's what being a grown up.
So I'm saying if it's free.
Okay, so
then first of all, you're saying to them, you could be here or not be here. It's not going to change this program. We are solid and we're ready for you whenever you're ready. But I don't need your parents $10,000 a month to survive. You're here because we love you and we care about you.
Okay.
Could you demand more of them because it's free?
Yeah, of course. So like this. Why are we free? We are free so that we can build a program based on what we believe and the people that are coming to it. Not what the parents think they need or want the program to have, which doesn't have any clinical relevance. There's no statistical analysis on what they think the kid needs. And they've been giving the kid what they think the kid needs their whole life. Although so did my parents, and they were right. I didn't listen. That's a separate conversation. Anyway, and then same with if you take money from insurance, you now need to build a program based on what the insurance company requires of you. If you take money from the state, you now need to have things that the state requires of you. If you take money from the parent, you now need to implement the systems based on what the parents require of you. But no one stopped and asked, is this program that they're making us build in order to get people and money, is it successful? What is the success of this thing that they are making me do because of how I've chosen to fund this initiative? And so we're like, yeah, well, not good, clearly, because the problem's getting worse and more money is getting dumped into this industry. There's like each year there's more and more money to make, which means that there's more. It's like the problem's getting worse, which is crazy because today there is the highest amount of treatment centers that have ever existed on Earth. So if they're doing such a great job, why are there so many? Why is it getting worse?
It's a great question. I've asked this to many guests I've had on here.
What?
I've asked this to many guests that I've had on here.
Well, it's because anything that is more important than the thing that you're claiming is the real reason that you're doing the thing. And that's a bitter truth to swallow.
Say that again. Say it again. Sorry. I missed it.
It's so I read a book that I took a few things from it called The Honest Truth About Dishonesty. And it talked about a lot about conflict of interest and like how to avoid it is how to not be affected by conflict of interest is to remove it completely. Why? Because we're human. Unless we fall into the 1% of people that never lie or the 1% of people that always lie, it's just a question of where we are on the spectrum of sometimes a little, we're all in there. And so the easiest way to not be a victim of conflict of interest is to just avoid it. Just remove it from your structure. So if you're not charging, it's gone. You remove the dollar sign away from the client. You can see that client way more clearly. Anyway, what was the question?
No, the theoretical idea of these rehabs is that the financial people, like my staff doesn't know who pays, who doesn't pay. So they're supposed to be dealing with them as if they're just here. But you're right. There is still a conflict.
But everyone gets paid for somehow.
Well, that's true about you too. You're fundraising, so that's how they're getting paid.
Yeah, but them getting paid for has nothing to do. If all the guys are gone, the budget's still there. We raise the overhead. Right. It's not based on guys. We don't raise money against how many guys we will treat. This is the overhead for the year, whether we have one guy or whether we have 50.
Right.
And so if you have the overhead taking care of your entire program, you can take whoever you want for that year or not, which is I wish I had answered this question linearly. Can I start from the top and just rip through it?
Yes.
Okay. The reason that we're free is it allows us to build a program built for the resident without an outside influence that doesn't understand, to make us implement structures that are unnecessary and quite expensive. That's number one. Number two is you have to have a relatively lower budget. So the salaries aren't crazy high, which attracts a different type of person, which is a good thing. It's someone who's really, really there to help people, which in most programs is true. All the therapists and all the people that work in these for-profit places, they really do want to help people. They're just usually bound by politics and money to not be able to do exactly what they believe to be true. And that's why there's a lot of mental health issues among the clinicians, because they're not able to be true to themselves. Anyway, so it attracts a certain type of staff. So we've found, based on they're not crazy high salaries, although I wish that they could be. And these people really love to work with people. And none of their job is motivated by money or anything like that, from having to take or treat the guy a certain way or any of that. Another reason that it's free is it allows, like I said, this overhead to be there, so all of the staff can look at the residents can look at the residents in a certain way. And they can say something to a guy that might make him leave, which sometimes is necessary. Another reason, so then now through the lens of the person in the program, is if it's free, that, and like with me, after I kind of realized it, it made me understand when they said you need to be grateful, and that is an action word, it made me have to, I just looked at the people that were helping me through a different light. It made me respect the time that they were giving me, because I didn't do anything to earn it. Quite the opposite. I should have been in jail. And so I have this like grace that's being given to me. And so I need to respect that opportunity. I have
such first of all, we had Aaron on. Aaron, his podcast already came out. But Aaron Fogels, he was on. And he was talking about how the gratitude is baked into the program. And that's what you're saying, which I really, really like the way he said that. What I want to say is that there is so many times, the real times I'm like, I really wish we were free, is the amount of times when they get frustrated, this and that, like, oh, you only have us here because of money. Like, that's what it comes to. Even though I got to raise, I'm not covering the overhead, even with whatever I am charging people. But
well, you have to, or else you would close.
Otherwise, I'd close. But what I'm saying is, just to take away that comment is worth, like, I don't know how much it's worth. Just that comment, we're here to help you. So that's why we're here. The end.
So the biggest point I haven't described yet.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know where gratitude. Yeah, we have a simple line. I'll give it to you. You should use it with the guys, which is grateful drunks don't drink. And it has two meanings. It means if you're grateful for what you have, you won't go and do this thing. But also, a drunk drug addict who constantly practices gratitude will also not drink. Someone who's always, showing gratitude, like they look at their bed and they make their bed in the morning, not because they have to, but because they're grateful that they have a bed. They pile guys into their car and take them to meetings, not because they have to, but because I'm grateful that I have a car. Same with your table. I'm going to have people over and feed them because I'm grateful that I even have a table and a shtickle money. And so just this constant gratitude, if you pump the action, people are like, oh, I'm doing gratitude list. I'm like, kol hakavod. It's a thankfulness list unless it has a second column. Because I'm grateful for this, and this is how I'm going to show that gratitude to myself and the world. It's like, because if not, it's just like I'm grateful I got a house, grateful I got a car, grateful I got a. I'm like, what's the
What are you doing with the house? What are you doing with the car? That's what you're saying? What's the action?
Great that you told us about all of the stuff you have. How is that clinically and therapeutically helpful? Like, I guess some kid might be like, wow, he has stuff, but stuff ain't the goal. The goal's in here.
Yeah, well, you're saying it because there's so much in the world of gratitude.
Showing that gratitude.
No, it's just that there's so much literature on gratitude now. It helps us and all that stuff. And the way you're putting it is, because like all these people are grateful, grateful, grateful. But at the end of the day, what are you doing with that gratitude? You have the house. What are you doing with it? What are you doing?
Grateful. Is it great? So what we learned, gratitude was an action word, like love, like all these other things. They're all, if you can turn it into an action, that's what really shows you to yourself that thing.
So being free, gratitude is front and center at all times.
Correct. But it's not counterintuitive. It's intuitive. Like, so, and so there's like, no one wants me here for any ulterior motive. I need to really work hard because that's why I'm here. And, nothing here is negotiable or nothing's negotiable because they have no reason to keep you if you're not going to do the thing that they're setting forward. And I remember another guy, Eddie McKenna, set me down. He said, kid, we're only selling one thing here. He said, we're only selling one kid, and you can either do that thing or you cannot be here. We love you, but that's just what it is. And so if you want to do that thing, we got you. If you don't, you can go. And so I was like, and I knew they were serious. These were hardcore, scary people that also like monsters. But they were also really nice.
Right.
Like the True Duels guy on our motorcycle trip. It's a little.
I don't understand that reference, but
it's okay.
I just want
our viewers will.
Your viewers will.
True Duels. So these guys were like scary but nice. They were serious and tough but nurturing. And they looked like monsters. So, especially to my 22-year-old self.
Right.
So, being free, it just makes everything very simple. It makes it black and white. A lot of people like to say, oh, there's a gray. There is a gray. Like, because we're all different people. But there isn't a gray. Life's pretty black and white. You drink water or you don't. You get dehydrated. You eat food or you don't. And a lot of things that people like to make gray aren't so gray. And if you err on the side of caution, you probably can't go wrong. Like, just if there's a question, just go be more conservative, and you won't regret it. You'll never regret it.
Right.
Conservative in not in the political sense. So, but here's the most important reason of us being free. Is it allows us to choose who we accept, which everyone else claims that they do too.
Yes, but they have.
But that can't be true. They have the severe conflict of interest where they must take people or else they don't exist. And so if they have a nice stream of guys that are questionable, they can be like, oh, my program's so geschmack, we're going to pull them up. But once you get into this sticky situation where you need the people to be there in order for you to exist, and you start to let people get away with things so you don't kick them out because the money disappears, and you get into this thing, which all comes from, I'm not saying that I think that there isn't as much malicious intent as maybe someone would have thought that I would have thought there was years ago. Mm-hmm. I'm not there anymore. Like, it's not malicious. It's
what does that mean is malicious intent?
Like, oh, they only care about the money.
Right.
The people helping people, they just have the streams because they only care about the money. That's not true. It's not.
No.
People want to help people. And we could open 3 more of a program. We're still not even scratching the surface.
Right.
There's thousands of people that are very sick that need help.
Well, I have a thing because the biggest pressure I've had on me is to create a for-profit part to my program. And I said, as soon as I go for profit, I'm charging insurance and going in that route. I don't know if it's impossible to give the services that I want and to actually continue with the helping that we're doing, but I'll be the first. Meaning, like, I don't know.
But why?
I don't know
what
anybody
would be the purpose? What would be the reason?
To help pay for this. I mean, I don't have to fundraise $1 million a year to have a guy's program, a girl's program. It's such an enormous amount of money to fundraise. The community is like, what are you doing? Just charge insurance. Everybody is like, insurance is giving million. People are, what I'm doing. See, I'm not free, but it's close. I have huge scholarships. I figured out how to like fundraise a lot. And everybody is like, I don't understand. Why aren't you billing? And you just described why I'm not billing, why I'm not trying to have an outside force saying this is how you do it. I want to do it exactly the way I want to do it. I'm asking the parents to chip in. Even that, I get parents complaining. What do I say? I send them over there. What do you got? The money's coming from here. So I want, it's almost like it's a third party payer. That's what it is. So what I find is everybody is saying, why exactly are you making a program with all these services and you're giving them literally everything that you could possibly give them? You give them the top of the line service for such a little amount of money, and then you got to fundraise, and then you're out there like struggling. What are you doing? Just make a rehab, and that'll pay for this. And what ends up happening is there's so many things that everybody I know that started out with just like, I want to help the end. And I think everybody starts that way, almost everybody, besides for like just the real estate guys that get into this. But like the real people that get into this, everybody starts that way. And then they start all of a sudden, now we got the insurance company, they're demanding this and they need this amount of services and they got to go ride horses and do coloring books for 15 hours a day. And because that's what's covering our expenses. Also, the whole programming is based on what it is. And then eventually, the part of the program where you're giving all these extra services for free, you're like, this is exhausting. Why am I even giving these services for free? I got a RIA making crazy amount of money. I'll make 10 of these and I'll make crazy amount of money. So what I'm saying is that because I'm human, I've been fighting off these ideas. When the way you're talking about it, I'm like, and I've said on a podcast, people have been very critical. I'm like, I want to make this program completely free. And people are like, how can you make it free? Just charge insurance. And, like everybody's kind of annoyed about it. The way you articulated this is like, oh my God, what a breath of fresh air.
I feel like I've been all over the place. I haven't been linear at all.
That's fine. I got it. Listen, podcasts are not about linear. You're not giving a class, bro.
So the most important part, why are we free? The real reason, it's directly what depends on our success. Our success is because we're free. That's it. Meaning in regards to the treatment itself. It being free allows us to take guys that are very serious, that are not being forced there by their parents, that are not coming there to save their job, that are not coming there to just get back into school. We can weed all of that out and we have no motivation to take those types of people. Could we help those types of people also? Yes, after the fact. And here's when and how. Is for many, many years, we did not. I smell, oh yeah, my wife.
For anybody listening,
and
he hung up the phone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't want to say what I want to say. I want to say it so bad. Anyway, yeah. My wife calls me. Now, anyway, so
hang up.
No, yeah, that's the so and then you get a call from a family. Listen, you have to take.
Right.
Bye. No, we were very careful to take guys that really wanted to be there, which then that's what builds the culture. Then you get a place that's serious, that's about recovery, that the guys are grateful, that they're invested on working on themselves, they're taking care of the place, they're taking care of everything, and it becomes
a community.
There's good communities and bad communities. Community is just a group of people. Right. I understand what you mean, but it becomes a community with a certain type of attitude and atmosphere that is healthy, positive, hardworking, disciplined, all of these things, service-oriented, accountable. And you really, if you want to send your kid to a place and be like, listen, you have one place where half the people don't want to be there, and who knows what their motive is. You've got some other people that are on the fence, and you have a few people that do want to get better, but are giving a program that is built around the fact that half the people don't want to be there. A guy could be at the AZ house for a couple weeks, and I'll be like, yo, we need vegetables. Here's my car keys. And this is rehab. This is a dude that just got out of detox a couple weeks ago. I obviously needs the driver's license, but there's A, nothing stopping me from doing that. And B, because of how we're structured, I trust the guys that are coming in immediately. I have no reason not to. And I want them to know that. And if you treat them dishonestly, then that's how they're going to behave. So the opposite, you want to pile them with responsibility and trust. That's what builds self-esteem, not treating them like they have to earn it. Why should I make a kid earn it? He's never done anything wrong to me.
Right.
And I want him to feel like a trustworthy,
so let me switch the topic a second. Because this is an important thing. So I think what you're saying, because you kind of got off topic, but you're saying
just now?
is that if you have
makes a good
culture
environment
that's like that, you could stick a couple of guys that aren't exactly like that into that culture, and they'll get pulled in.
Correct.
Meaning, if it's 50% in the beginning,
yeah, that's right.
It's never going to work. That's where you were going.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I saw that.
That was exactly.
Is that what you were saying?
So later on, we started to be able to take a gamble,
Right.
This guy, and unfortunately or fortunately, or I don't know, I'm going to get in trouble for this. Like a guy comes in and he's on the cusp, but he seems like he's not going to make problems. Good kid. Be like, we'll give him a shot. Some people will walk in and it's just like straight problems. We don't have to take them.
Right.
And like, oh, that's not good.
So how do you deal with severe mental health stuff? I mean, I'm assuming that, depression and anxiety is fine, but like when someone comes in and they're like wildly bipolar and they end up with like manic stuff and like craziness, how do you deal with that stuff? Or you just don't take those guys?
We do take those guys,
yeah,
but we're not a stabilization unit. And there's this, I guess, unicorn that doesn't exist with the like, where they expect you to be able to do everything. And if you can't or you don't claim to, then you're not a good place. Right? Although like, or like, they don't focus on whatever. And so we've had plenty of guys who are bipolar. We have guys that suffer from schizophrenia. We have depression, you name it, severe anxiety. All of these things, guys on medication that see a psychiatrist regularly. We definitely take those guys. The question is, have they been stabilized? Are they stable on their medication or not? Right? And because
so they still have to keep the rules.
What rules?
Whatever the culture is to be.
Why wouldn't they?
No, I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm saying if they're bipolar and because of it they're running around at night,
they're not going to be
right.
Because they've been stabilized on their medication, and we've had very little issues in that department with manic episodes. I would say none, because we are very careful. We're not. That's not true. We've had issues over the years, like with someone that their family or people that were advocating for them kind of painted a picture that we trusted because they appeared to be the adult in the room. Mm-hmm. Clearly they weren't. And they lied to us to get us to accept someone because they had nowhere else to send them. Mm-hmm. We trusted them. And then we end up with a kid that needs to be admitted to a psychiatric unit.
Right.
So we do try to avoid that, because if they need to be in a psychiatric unit, they shouldn't be in the AZ house. If they need to be in a psychiatric unit, they shouldn't be in our village, because our village isn't a psychiatric unit.
Right.
Any more than if a kid needs to be in a psychiatric unit, he also, shouldn't be in a yeshiva, because it's not what it's for. These are two different things.
Right.
Now, a person who's been in a psychiatric unit that's been stabilized on medication, that has a history of bipolar, that is feeling good and stable in that department, and now wants to learn how to not use drugs and alcohol on a daily basis, and how to build their life in a healthy, happy, and joyous and free way with community and whatever it is. Well, that's what we do. And so there's nothing like mental illness or mental health issues doesn't hold someone back from being in our program. Most, it's just, and we've had severe cases.
Right.
Clearly, you know that. So I think.
Well, I will say this. This is something interesting. Okay. A little bit. Well, it's not off topic. I have spent years telling people, go to Israel, go to AZ House. Like, why are you shipping people all around? There's a free program in Israel. Call Eric. And I've had enormous amount of resistance to sending anybody to another country, and to like they feel like they're losing their control or whatever it is, and they don't know if, and they don't hear like, oh, is there a serious clinical program there or whatever, the stuff they've been sold. So I would say that maybe 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20 people I tell about your program actually goes. Now I'm wondering what you think about that. Like, why? What do you say to parents like that, or to anybody who's trying to help? Well, I think it's changed because you guys have definitely, you gotten a reputation, and people are a little less worried. But
we're full.
I know you're full. What I'm saying is that still I send more
people
than go.
At the wrong time, we're full. We're not supposed to be full right now.
Right. This is actually quiet time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beginning of the year.
We're like bursting at the seams. Like we just expanded 6 months ago.
So it might be a relevant question, but I'm just asking for a parent who says, listening to this podcast and says, I don't want to send to Israel. I'm nervous.
They might not after this.
No, they will. Listen, I'm ready to send myself there and get better. Let's go.
I haven't found that much pushback. Any parent that I've ever spoken to, if they just get on the phone with me, it's a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah. The only opposition that I've ever really heard about or gotten from anywhere, well, you can do deductive logic. It hasn't been from residents, potential residents, or families.
It's organizations, you say.
It's just not families, and it's not the people that we treat. It's not the people that we work with. They love us, all of them. Even the most tragic cases, those families are still involved and still love us.
Right. Right.
And
do you want to make a statement about that? You don't want to make a statement about that? Because I feel like you did make a statement. No, I'm saying that I will tell you the frustration I have. Like when I look, I'll say this, and you probably have the same frustration. I am going crazy because, like I said in the beginning, I'm very good at product development. I built a product that is doing very, very well. So to me, that is the only way to determine whether you're sending someone to a program or not. You should look at the program, find out how well they're doing, and send to the programs that are doing really well. When I hear constantly people sending to programs that have this 10% success rate or whatever it is, and because somebody in some organization or somebody doesn't like me, or they don't think I'm working in their path, or I'm not giving them the right massage in the right way, or whatever it is.
Mamash not that guy.
What?
I am mamash not that guy.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that like I'm talking about my own frustration is that I'm like, are you kidding me? You're sending someone to a program that is, first of all, more expensive, less successful, not Jewish, and you're doing all that because you decided that I'm not the guy you like, right? And the frustration.
Is that the reason?
Well, what is the other reason?
Is it really that they don't like you?
Well, give me another reason. I've been more successful than any other program in America that I could tell. So what is it?
I don't know. I can't. I'm not a prophet.
Well, what I'm trying to say is
it's confusing. I don't know why. I was one of them. It was one of the saddest and most frustrating points in my life when I opened the place, completely unaffiliated kid from Cleveland,
right?
Moved to Israel like with nothing. Just I want to be with Jews. I want to help Jews. I am sober a few years. I'm young. I was 20. Just turned 27 when the house opened.
Right.
I had moved to Israel, and 6 months later had met my wife and opened the AZ house. Geschmack. Israel was very. Mamish changed my life. Very good to me. Israel has been.
So what? The frustrating time. Tell me.
Yeah. It was, and this is around the time I met you. Like I opened, Shmaya came and visited, came back. He was like, "Yo, I went to this place. We got to do all this stuff." And that's when I met you.
Yeah.
And we talked for years before I met you in person. I didn't meet you in person until I met Aaron.
Years.
5 years.
Is that wild?
4 years. Sorry, 4 years.
We spoke for years before we talked.
And what I did for that first year, I would go through the phone book in Israel, calling every Anglo therapist that I could, some of the heaviest hitters in the industry. I'm not going to say my name. And And they would not talk to me, ghost me, question me, grill me. And I was like horrified because I came there completely ignorant, completely unaffiliated, and from this system in Cleveland where all the places are free, people get sober really fast, and a year later, 2 years later, they're buying a house, getting married, starting businesses, sponsoring lots of guys, doing lots of service and driving people to driving up to the treatment center, filling the car with guys, taking them to meetings. Like that's one of their things that they do religiously on a weekly basis. And I'm like, all of this exposure. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this for the Jewish people. There are no programs like this. Everything is just another clinical version with a shtickle kosher food so that the parents feel comfortable to send to there. And they're not really great programs and they're not so professional or even clean. Like I saw one that was a little bit whatever. And I just like, and then just attacked from every angle. And I didn't even know what was happening. I didn't understand anything. Right. I was like dumb kid just trying to do a nice thing, very passionate about the solution because I struggled for many years and almost died. And I was like, it's super cheap, super accessible, works very well and very fast. You can come to my program and then move into your own apartment. No more programs, no more nothing, move on with your life.
Right.
Which happened with me. Like I went and then a few months later rode my motorcycle away from the treatment center to park it in front of my own apartment that was in my name with a security deposit that I had paid without my parents' help, with the utilities in my name, with groceries that I bought to live happily ever after. Right. Like that's what this free place did for me. Like I had no education. I didn't have anything. And didn't have anything.
And then you got that pushback.
And then I'm like, we need to do this for the Jewish people. And it's not that I didn't get pushback. It's like I got like, stupid kid doing some stupid thing. And it was like the worst.
Yeah.
Crying. Like, I just didn't understand. And that went on for years. Luckily, how did people end up by it? I mean, we never really did marketing. And no one was set. Even till today, outside of very few people actually send people in our direction. A lot of people say, I sent him to you. I sent him to you. But for every person that they sent to us, they probably sent 100 somewhere else.
Exactly.
And it's not because it's in Israel. Everyone goes to Israel. Gap year. Like it's not
not a big. I think
telling you because everyone.
They're not sending drug addicts. The reputation of Israel is they're going to go be stuck on the streets in Israel. You have no control. You no power.
It depends on the
scary.
kid. If the kid wants to get better, then we're the place.
I
Chaz v'shalom, you end up in another rehab.
But there is some sort of.
I haven't personally seen that pushback in the last 9 years.
Oh, okay, fine.
I haven't.
Because I'll say,
you know what I have heard?
Yeah,
100% of the time is we didn't know about you, and we don't know why no one told us. This is the 5th program. This is the 10th program. We have lost everything. Why didn't they tell us about you? And this is after the fact, or before the fact,
right?
One way, and I'm like, I'm not gonna point fingers or claim anything. I don't know what the reason is. Like it could, I don't know.
It's interesting because I'm in this field for so many years, and I have a good reputation in the field, and I'm still getting the same thing. There's a lot of the referrals are coming from this guy's nice to me, this guy I work with well, this guy, it's like the friend next door. I see this with therapists too. Like I'll say, hey, anybody have a therapist? They just send you to their friends. That's what I see. So a lot of it is human error, and it's not necessarily from a bad place. But to me, I am like flabbergasted that a program like mine and yours is like with a 50-person waiting list. Like me, like the idea of it is, well, right now you have it, but
I'm getting that waiting list.
Yeah.
Like when we were in our fundraiser last year, this is the craziest thing. When we were in our fundraiser last year, we had a 20-person waiting list. Our beds were completely full. We didn't have a lot of money in the bank because we were at that fundraising juncture.
Mm-hmm.
And I called one of the board members. I was like, I need you to go and be here. I'm signing this $1 million shekel lease. I have to co-sign it myself. So I hope we can pay it and I don't go to jail, literally. My father would have told me no. I hope I don't go to jail. And And he's like, you're crazy. He's like, why don't we fundraise the money first? And then and I'm like, that's been working real good, hasn't it? Never works.
Right.
Signed it, got the keys, and we raised 25% more this year than we did the year before. And then the next day, after the fundraiser is over, I'm dead because I work like 200 hours in 11 days. That's what it feels like.
Right.
And minus Shabbos, which means that those days are like 17 hours. Anyway, and he calls me, same board member, Judah, calls me and he's like, yo, wake up. I'm like, wake up. I'm like, what? He's like, someone's going to furnish the house for free.
I love it.
I'm like, oh, and then get up and jump in the car, go to the place, 25 new beds, mini bars for the room, like all from the Inbal Hotel. The place was Just One Chesed. Shout out, hooked it up. Yeah, they mamish hooked it up. It's
called Just One Chesed.
Yeah, they hooked it up. Great people.
Beautiful.
They
put the microphone.
They help families and people with furniture, and so they helped us out. Something geschmack, and so we got couches and we got chairs and we've got mini bars, refrigerator. I bought the fridges, but refrigerators in all the rooms, big giant beds, like it's a real, and I'm happy about this. It's a real upgrade from the guys in the primary portion or the inpatient portion of the program, and it's good that, well, if you work hard and after you're working, you go to the new house.
Yeah, we have a
and like we tried it. We have now a split in our program. You get invited to the new house. Theoretically, you could go through the first portion of our program, work, and if you're not doing what you got to do, we might invite you to leave.
Right.
Instead of going across the street. I don't know. I don't think we've had to do that yet. But so it's just this crazy thing of, then we got it furnished too, and have been like fixing the pieces for the rest of the year.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to go to Baltimore soon. So hold on.
You're sending me out of here?
I'm gonna have to send you out because I gotta go shopping also. By the way, how many times have I asked you to be on this podcast? Several times. I've really wanted you on.
You ever have anyone on it twice?
Yeah, and I'll have you on again, 100%. 100%. There are very few people in the world that I have watched, and like I feel very much part of your program. I know it's been a distance, and it's been like it's been an honor to be like a weirdly part of your advisory board. I don't think you have an advisory board, but the amount of times we've talked about stuff and discussed things it's been an honor, because I think you're doing incredible work, and it's beautiful to see, and I love it, and I learn from it, and it's awesome. So I will say that before, if anybody made it to this section of the podcast, hopefully everyone.
I appreciate that.
And I want to say another personal thank you to you, which is that when I was sitting Shiva for my mother, you came with the whole program, and it meant a tremendous, I don't know if the whole program, but
all the guys.
All the guys. And it meant a really lot to me. So it's special to be there at those difficult times. So I really appreciate that. So before that, then I'm going to ask you my rooftop question. You know my rooftop question? The rooftop question is, it means if you're standing on top of a rooftop and hundreds of thousands, the whole world is listening. You get to yell. Man. You get to yell a message to the world. Put the mic closer to your face. I have to do this every time. And what's your rooftop message to the world?
What a question. Before I answer that, I do want to just thank you and let you know that those first couple years, calling you and some other people also in your organization, or affiliated with you, I would call you, but mainly you, and I got a lot of encouragement from you to keep going through those hard. I don't know if you remember it, but like I would call you like really in a lot of pain and confusion and not understanding, and I felt like people like you kept me me feeling like what I was doing was worth the fight, no matter how difficult it was. And the encouragement and motivation that I got from talking to you was one of the reasons that I think that we still exist.
That's really special.
Yes.
Thank you, man.
Really. I really, really, really mean that.
Wow. This just got romantic, bro.
Yeah.
Just turn
and I was
down
thinking of you
light.
in my RV with my wife. We're all over. Sonny,
You're so cool. Still calls it a 5-wheel. What is it?
A 5th wheel.
It's a 5th wheel now, but you said another word first. I was like,
it's a 5-wheeler.
It's a 5-wheel. You call it 5-wheel. I'm like, it's a 5th wheel.
Man, it's a gooseneck. What about a gooseneck?
What about the gooseneck? That's the name of the...
It's another type of hitch.
That's right.
You have a 5th wheel and then a gooseneck.
Oh, the gooseneck does the...
I don't know. I don't know. I might have them backwards.
I'm so jealous of you and your wife doing that.
What? You did it. You're the one who gave me the idea.
That's true, but I want to do it again. The truth is, when I did it, well, I did the RVs, but when I first got married, that's how I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the RVs in general, but
never even knew I would do it.
When I first got married, I got a $700 station wagon. And me and my wife slept in the back for 6 weeks around the whole country. We did 10,000 miles in this station wagon with no air conditioning, and we slept in the back 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
We did 10,000 miles in 3.5 weeks.
Right, there you
4
go.
weeks. No, we did 5. Whatever.
There was a lot of chilling. We would just go somewhere and
we should have
stop.
done more chilling. Next time it'll be all chilling.
That is advice. Want to say for RV people, take longer time, spend more time in each place. 3 days in each place. When you're running,
at least.
Yeah, you need at least minimum of 3 days in each place. So get to a good place, spend 3 days there, go to another good place, spend 3. That would be my suggestion. When I do my RV trips, we're just traveling every day. We're driving 4 or 5 hours, so it's a little different because I only got a week. But if you could have some time, man, jeez.
Yeah.
Get to the Grand Canyon, spend a week there. Oh,
Got to go to the Smoky Mountains.
I can't wait. You're gonna have to. I want to see the entire itinerary. I can't wait to do that.
What is the message? Rooftop message.
First of all, if you made it to this point, I want you to say red in the comments.
What? Red?
I'm just saying the word red.
Red?
Why not? You have a better word?
No.
Just let me know that you made it. I'm curious. Because we're over 2 hours.
The rooftop message. What is something that I don't know. I would say this based in the realm of the AZ house, in that realm, is that the solution, from what we've seen, the solution is relatively intuitive and simple. It is not complicated, and it doesn't cost this ocean of money that everyone's been convinced of that it does cost. And it's also relatively fast. It does not take a long time, and everyone's been convinced of that too. And so it's just, there's too many normal, healthy people that have figured out how to live a good life for the secret to that to be that complicated.
Yeah.
How is my mom and my dad like happy, normal people? Like whatever they're doing is the answer. I don't have to talk to a professional to do that. It's not true. Or else then they'd also have to talk to that same professional to be like that. And I really believe that.
I love it.
Yeah, the solution is simple, practical, quick, and accessible to everyone, especially if we don't charge for it.
It's funny how, I will say one last thing, because you're reminding me of those first couple of years, and I do remember how frustrated you were on the phone. Like, it's funny, we never met. We just talked a lot.
I just pour my heart out.
Yeah, but the amount of frustration, I almost forgot. I have some form of it myself now. But it's like you could hand someone something great, and if they don't know it, they're just not taking it. Like it's so shocking that a program that is free and is there for everybody had that frustration. So I guess I shouldn't feel as frustrated myself when I'm like really frustrated. I'm like,
if you're having trouble,
yeah,
it's because peripheral people around you are not advocating for you.
What does that mean?
I had a lot of conversations with people that are like, yeah, people aren't going to go for it. People aren't going to buy it. This isn't what the community's looking for. I'm like, but they respect you. All you got to do is tell them.
Just tell them.
And I never said that to said person who I have in mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they didn't want to put themselves on the line for whatever reason. But that's what I would say is like everyone, when people start advocating for this is an awesome thing, this is an awesome place, like, then that's pretty much all that's.
No, that is all you need.
That's all that you need. Never mind the marketing. The marketing is cool. Like, and
you're right. I do have. No, the marketing is cool. I'll tell you why. Because parents, when they call you, they go. Meaning,
they'll then look at it.
The marketing is not for the advocates. The marketing is for the parents to go,
yeah,
what?
Sure. Oh, wow,
AZ
that's a
House
good place.
exists?
Yeah.
Let me call. So,
but that's not how people come with. That's barely how anyone ends up in any of these places.
Yeah.
That's a separate podcast in itself.
Yes. Okay, we're going to do it again. I love you, man. This is really, really, really great. And I'm really glad you got to finally come.
Yeah.
And do an awesome podcast. I got to go build a freaking sucker because
you're
it's 2 days.
You're going to have to edit it so that it all makes sense because we were like here, there.
I'm not editing
We were
nothing.
there, went over here.
Listen, if you want to get into our heads, you got to go through the ride. That's how it works. Love you, man.
Thank you for this day that I've been given. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this chance. Thank you for this